Welcome. I am Certified Celebrant Gail Rubin, and thank you for coming today to help us honor and celebrate the life of Linda Lee Fox, a beautiful woman, a special woman. And to get us started, please rise as you are able as the family comes in. Everybody, please be seated. And again, welcome. I'm Gail Rubin, a certified celebrant. And we gather today to honor the life of Linda Lee Fox, gathering today under this gorgeous willow tree that she loved and planted in 1988 when the family first moved to this home. She loved her yard, her garden, her family, and she nurtured her family with love and care. Husband Richard, sons Dennis and John, daughters-in-law Donna, Jordan and Sean, daughters-in-love Misty and Shayna, and her grandchildren Kyle, Chloe, Addie, Hillary, Nicholas, and Cameron. As many of you may know, a brain tumor first bedeviled Linda 5 years ago. It happened during one of her many trips to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with Richard. It was a place they always enjoyed visiting. Unfortunately, surgery and other treatments did help reduce the size of the tumor, but it eventually grew back. And over the past few months, Linda was lovingly supported by her family here in the home she so loved. Linda was strong, independent, vibrant, helpful, supportive, giving, and so much more. Linda was born in Des Moines, Iowa on January 28, 1949, as Linda Lee Yarman. She moved to California with her new adopted family that included brother Michael and sister Patty. It was in California years later she met her first husband, John Patrick Sheffer. You would know him as Pat. They met at a USO dance when she was 17 and he was 18. Pat was just getting ready to ship out to Vietnam, and Linda waited 18 months for him to return from his tour of duty. Linda and Pat got married in 1969 and moved to Pat's hometown of Alamogordo. It was there they had their first son, Dennis William Sheffer, in 1969. When Dennis was 5, the family moved to Albuquerque, where son John Michael Sheffer was born in 1982. Linda and Pat divorced a few years later. Now, Linda always loved dancing, and dancing, once again, brought a husband into her life. Linda met Richard Fox, the love of her life, at the Caravan East nightclub. They married 17 years ago in 1996 and built a beautiful life and business together. She was a legal secretary in Albuquerque, and after meeting Richard, they both made a shift toward real estate entrepreneurship, buying and rehabbing properties to rent out. Linda was meticulous with her houses, and as she was in all facets of her life. At first, Linda and Richard did all the work themselves, and eventually they found talented people to help, some of you who I bet are here today. Friends as well as people who work with you. This did not, however, stop Linda from always checking the work to make sure it was perfect. From the flowers on the front door to the windows being cleaned just right, her careful eye caught all the details. Good health and self-improvement were important to Linda. Healthy eating and exercise were a big part of her life, and she took up bodybuilding in the late 1990s. As we can see in the photo here, she is a model we can all strive to emulate. And if you had a health question, she knew just the right supplement to take. She would not only tell you about the supplement, she would go to the store and buy it for you. And she was the first to know about all the newest workouts and diets. I salute you. Mentally and physically, she had a commitment to excellence. She and Richard would go on retreats to improve their human potential. She walked on broken glass, broke an arrow with her throat, and ate fire. And I want to see this, and you can see this, in photos of her achieving these feats in the video tribute that we will show at the end of the service. Linda and Richard loved to travel, including their many trips to Mexico, to China, to see Richard's family in New Orleans. But it was always great to come back home to Albuquerque, to have a glass of wine by the fire and enjoy her home and yard. She loved her animals very much, and she had as many as 3 dogs and 10 cats at one point. She rescued neighborhood stray cats and would have them spayed and neutered, and even had Richard build a special cat condo in the garage in the back. And she loved people as much as she loved animals. At Thanksgiving and Christmas, if you didn't have a place to go, her door was always open to you. And Linda loved this yard that we gather in today. She loved playing with her kids and grandchildren in this yard. She loved watching her dog Shadow run around with his toys. She loved tending her flowers and plants. And look, we have irises and roses. They bloom for her today. She would always bring a touch of beauty to her surroundings. Flowers on the door, a candle on the table, a colored glass bottle on a window ledge, or other unique yin-yangs, as she called them. She loved taking her family and friends to all the different dollar stores and Savers and finding great deals on everything you could find there. She was very graceful and giving. Even after she got sick, she made sure you were taken care of. She was always sending you home with a care package with just about anything you might need. Socks, underwear, food, money, more. She would always find a way to help you. And now we will hear from Linda's family members, speaking about her from their own unique perspectives. And if you have a story about Linda that you would like to share after they are done speaking, we will have time for open comments. And our first speaker is Richard.
I'm not sure I'll be able to get through this, but I want to thank you all for coming and honoring her with your presence. All of our friends, people that she loved in her life and in her beautiful neighborhood here. She just was a marvelous, marvelous lady to be with. And though she's always with me, I will still miss her physical presence greatly. Today she would have laughed and she would have said, Your hair looks just like Captain Kangaroo. Fluff it up. And I said, so I will let her watch this and say, his hair needs to be fluffed up, but what can I say? The clothes she picked out in Puerto Vallarta. And we will make a journey there with some of her remains in the fall on Halloween and Day of the Dead. It will be 6 years from the time that she was first manifested her tumor, which they called at that point a stroke. However, all of the angels here, her family, just so wonderful, so supportive. They were here and helped me. All the support, the comments of the neighbors, the wonderful people that were the angels in our life. You could hear the wings just flapping all over the place. It just was so great. Her passing was very peaceful. I was holding her hand. Her sons, daughter-in-laws were with her, and her last breath was not labored. But finally, her breathing had relaxed, and she passed. Just a wonderful, wonderful sigh. And all has been said. There's nothing more that I can add, except from our yoga class, our wonderful teacher. May the longtime sun shine upon her. May all love surround her. And may the pure light within her guide her way on. Thank you all so much for being here and for honoring her memory. You're all just a wonderful blessing in our lives. Thank you.
Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you for attending on behalf of my mother, Linda Lee Fox. My name is Dennis, and I'm her eldest son. I have a brother, John, with me here today, as well as my children, Kyle, Chloe, and we all thank you for attending. Before I start, I'd like to give special thanks to Richard for your unwavering stance through all the years, not just in the sickness, but through everything and all the time. And really you took the phrase in sickness and health to a whole new level and to great heart. And I thank you for that. I'd also like to give special thanks to my brother, who doggedly helped in the treatment and the research for my mom's cancer, coming up with alternative methods, just always there for Mom, and that's a blessing. You're awesome, John. Mom is very blessed to have such a son, without question. And also special thanks again to you, Donna, for basically becoming our mother's private nurse over the last several weeks. You were there, and it was hard. I know it was hard for you, but you did it, and you did it quite well. And I'm eternally grateful for that you were able to do that. It means very much. Now, I'm not up here to deliver a eulogy or be overtly somber, because I would like to honor my mother by demonstrating the vibrant paint strokes that composed her life. She was filled with the gift of being able to observe the often overlooked smaller details of life, as is demonstrated in this yard. And it is this yard that I connect to my mother. I knew she spent many hours here, many years here, just taking it all in. The trees, the plants, the wildlife, the thoughtful placement of the bird feeders, the little cartoonish scarecrows here and there, the pottery, the carefully positioned gnomes on the walls, depictions of the sun and moon, the crosses, her verdant, fruitful gardens. I remember many times pulling up to this house and seeing my mom sitting peacefully on this bench underneath this gorgeous, undulating willow tree. And this is a sight that has crystallized within me and will remain within me forever. That sight of my mom sitting here. And Mom certainly didn't have an easy childhood, or really an easy early adulthood for that matter. But none of this was enough to deter her from becoming one of the most truly self-actualized adults I ever knew. Mom was a survivor in the utmost senses of this word. With incredible tenacity, she managed to create an existence with her husband Richard that was remarkable, if not enviable. Beyond the successes of their real estate ventures, Mom and Rich were constantly looking at ways not only to improve the mind and body, but also how to heal the spirit and allow all three to work in a symmetrical symbiosis with one another. It's truly beautiful to see. I can recall at the time being mystified by some of these activities and philosophies, as I was not really at that personal state of evolution. I just couldn't understand it. It's hard to grasp something that is so deep that only with the passage of time, after it unfolds itself, will you be able to see what it truly is. Mom was truly ahead of her time in regards to overall health through exercise, diet, rigorous self-examination through books, counseling, music, dance, travel, all of that. By the time the self-help craze had become prevalent in the 90s, my mom had been doing most of these things by at least 10 years. She was way ahead of the game. And I also think she had an innate ability to be a healer, because she certainly helped me several times in my life to heal, even when I wasn't aware of it at that moment. Some of these things just take time to realize. Much gratitude, Mama. Much gratitude. Mom's love for my brother and I is so deeply rooted in the obvious ways, such as affection or any kind of help that we needed. But it was also in ways, as Richard mentioned earlier, ways that were uniquely her own. For us, it was always the care packages. I know you heard that mentioned earlier. But there's something special about these care packages, at least for me. And that was the sense that there was always an item in that care package that it pertained to my life in some way. Whether it was a sponge, and this was very random. I had just thrown away a sponge the day before my last sponge because it was starting to look like a science experiment. And there it is, the next day, in a bag that my mom had prepared for me. I remember one day she put a mango in a bag. It's pretty random. But I was just thinking about, probably a few hours before, making a mango salsa. There's my mango. How cool is that? It was pretty cool. These are all real examples, and I think I don't really need to list off a bunch to get the gist. I used to just quietly chuckle in amazement at her ability to be able to do this. It just seemed so esoteric to me, but so easy for her. Just amazing. It was as though she could speak and see between the dimensional curtains and garner whatever information she needed at that time. And then she would bestow that to us, the family. Everybody got something. She just moved through life with a deeper sense of others, the world around her. When I think about it, I realize this is a gift that she always possessed It's a gift that she possessed throughout her life. So when I see my children, my brother, or even myself, I see a reflection, a scintillation in the eyes that tells me Mom resides in such nuanced ways within us all. And this gives me a great, great, great sense of peace in all of this, because I realize that life does go on. Mom's legacy continues. I feel a deep responsibility to ensure that not only I maintain the positive philosophies of Mom, but also instill these as serenely as I'm able to into my children's lives. Sorry. Some of these ideals that I would like to see my children uphold be generosity, compassion for all living things, a love for cooking, for things artistic, and most importantly, a tremendous sense of humor. I will always miss Mom's smile and laughter immensely. I'm here today to express so much gratitude for my mother. She brought me into this incredible world and demonstrated by example ways to maneuver within life's intricacies with passion and conviction. The entire family is blessed to have had such an exquisitely positive force in our lives. Mom could be as delicate as any exotic flower, but as fierce as a lioness when it came to matters of the family. Of course, I'm biased, but I feel we couldn't have asked for a better mother, such a sweet soul. Mom, thank you for this life you have given me. Thank you for revealing so many of life's wonders and beauty to our family. Mom, I love you, and I thank you for the radiance of your being. Thank you, folks.
Wow, I mean, the moment has come that no one really ever is envisioning wanting to embrace, but here we are, and seeing so many familiar faces is, wow. She'd be very happy. Thank you for everyone taking the time to come out. A couple of acknowledgements myself. I'd like to acknowledge my friend Paul, who graciously lended us the audio-visual equipment for this. I'd like to thank Gail for leading the ceremonies. Richard as well. You guys complimented each other in such a dynamic way. It was always entertaining. It was entertaining. I'll leave it at that. Donna, my beautiful wife, who devoted so much of her personal time and effort to making sure that my mom was taken care of. That's wow. I don't know what more I could ask for. Amazing. All my friends, family, and I could go on, but everyone here is contributing to the experience, and so for that, again, I say thank you. You know, as my brother said, my mom was a real dynamic spirit, and whether you knew her well or you didn't know her at all, her presence was really one of a kind. And, you know, for those who didn't get to know her very well, odds are someone in your life will come in the same fashion, so just be ready for the moment and embrace it. You know, there's really just a few things that kind of come to my mind, that parting words that my mom has left me with, that I'd like to share and close it out and make way for my beautiful wife, Donna. So, you know, the things that she taught me, because she was very gracious, she was loving, and she was compassionate, and there wasn't anything she wouldn't do for you, period, plain and simple. But one of the things was she was tough. Right, Dad? All right. Dennis, I mean, come on. Richard? Oh, yeah. Man, she just did not accept less than your best. If you half-assed it, man, I'm telling you now, she would look you in the eye, you'd have a little sit-down, come to Mama, and it'd be, why are you not giving your best? And you know you could do better. She just never accepted less than the best. And that, to me, is simple and powerful, because she realized your potential within. And if you did not reach it, she's going to help you. whether by force or by motivation, whatever the case may be. You know, one of the things in mix a few anecdotes in is in being tough. When me and Donna first started dating, we kids, I mean, we were kids, literally. Donna had to send her permission slip to marry me, by the way. But when we started dating, I would have to mow this lawn. I'd have to irrigate it. I'd have to pick up all the fruit, dog stuff, you name it, before I could go on a date with Donna on the weekend. And Donna used to get so frustrated. Can't that wait another day? This, that, and the third. But mom's laws, man, you did not violate them because you knew what would happen. But aside being tough, you know, she didn't judge you. Never once did she judge a soul in my life. How rare is that? I mean, take a second and really think about that. Non-judgmental. Whenever you were down and you weren't your best, you know who to call to pick you right back up. Every time, without fail. The lowest of the lows, she was there for you. And because of that, she herself was very resilient. As we know, a lot of challenges. I mean, this is life, guys. It's not a fairy tale. There's ups and downs, and she was unconditional. Absolutely. You know, and pardon my scattered thoughts, but this is hard to get out in a coherent fashion. But, you know, at the end of the day, with her toughness and everything, one word comes to mind with her: perseverance. That will to look your reality in the face, the card you're dealt, and not accept it, and look beyond it, and fight every day towards that. No matter the odds, I mean, she just expected to win. You know, failure was not an option. I never got that sense that failure was ever an option. And life couldn't keep her down. I mean, we had 5 more bonus years with Mom. You know, and I'll never forget, and when I'm talking about perseverance, we were down in Phoenix doing alternative treatments for her, and the disease was progressing. She had to get a craniotomy, like, immediately. And, you know, when a doctor sits you down as a family and tells you this news, you do not take it lightly. It basically scoops your heart right out of your body. And I'm a mess. I'm a pile of man. I mean, I'm babbling. And I walk into Mom to hug her as she's getting ready to get taken away. She isn't even medicated yet. She was dry-eyed, looked at me. He said, "Don't worry about a thing, son. Everything's going to be just fine. I'm going to be okay. What are you so worried about?" This is somebody who's about to have their brain operated on. I don't know if it's hard to grasp that kind of mentality, to be told these things, stay strong, perhaps for the family as well as betterment, but I think it was just genuine. It was just who she was. She wasn't doing this to keep us afloat. It was just who she was. And one of the other really important things is she taught me the power and the mindset of entrepreneurship. I came from Coast Guard, did the military thing, APD thing, short stints, just not cut from that cloth, what can I say? And I was in a bit of a rut in life. I had no clue what I was doing. And she kept poking and prodding. She'd been in real estate since about I was 12. I mean, I've been cleaning the rentals out my whole life. And she just told me, "You're settling for less. You have more to offer." And she offered the real estate. I turned it down probably 3 times. And finally, she eliminated all of my excuses. She said, "I'm paying for school. You start Monday." And I went, wow. I mean, at the time, I was like, it's just another thing. I didn't think of it, but here I am 11 years later. And I love my job. And without her, I don't know that I'd be in it, or nor that I'd have the mindset to think big. Get out of the box. Quit thinking small. Quit playing comfortable. She taught me to stretch it, you know, do uncomfortable things to get the life you want. Because it's not going to get handed to you. I have 2 very hardworking middle-class parents. I had no silver spoon in my mouth, so I had to go out and earn But she was there for me every step of the way. Started the first month in the business, we went to a retreat where we did the walk on, the broken glass and all that, and that changed a lot of paradigm. I mean, it just, man, shaped me forever. So as I go forward in my career, one of the last things I told her is, look out, Albuquerque. I'm going to take over. I owe it to her. Because without that in, I don't think I'd be where I am today. And I love where I am today. And another thing that's already been mentioned, guys, is the heart that this woman had. Yeah, I'm telling you that those who really knew her, I don't have to explain. You don't know. But for those who weren't here, I'm going to tell you now, didn't matter how well or not you knew her, if you needed a meal, she was there for you. You needed a couple bucks, you needed a pair of shoes, tuition for something, she would not even bat an eye to go out of her way for a complete stranger or otherwise and help them. And to those she helped, it's something that we're going to have, it's a gift within, and I feel grateful. Obviously, her animals, that's where I got my bleeding heart from, as well as my father. But, she was a very much a bleeding heart. So, bit of a side note. By the sign-in, I have ASPCA donation slips that I've coordinated. So, in lieu of flowers and food and the like, I kindly ask that you do something that would be very near and dear to her. Just help our furry, four-legged friends who don't have a say in the matter. Please, open your hearts. If we run out of slips, don't worry. We can take the information. We can have an online thing. But I would sincerely appreciate you opening your heart to our friends. And as I close here, I know I could never really make a list that do her legacy true justice. It's just too much. And frankly, you don't want to hear me go on for 2 hours. So, one thing though is I'm sitting here left without her. And it didn't really sink in until probably just a couple days ago that she was gone. But I'm left to reflect and think that how short this experience is called life. Guys, we don't have much time. So in that, value everything. Value the lows as a learning experience. Value every part of life, the good, the bad, it's all contrast and it's all great. It's all beautiful, right, Richard? Everything's perfect. Everything is perfect. This was a woman that, at 65, I saw her living to 100. I saw her living 100. Easy. So, a couple real quick lessons, and then I'll pass the mic, that she's taught me, and I hope maybe one idea can stick with you, and you can pass it on. But, I already talked about, embracing the lows, but celebrating the success. And when you have success in life, and it's not just monetary, we're not talking just money. We're talking about richness and fullness and fulfillment. Share it, people, with the ones you love. Because what good is the richness of your heart if you're not sharing it with everyone? Don't keep it within. It does you no good, right? One of the big things is we talked a lot about my mom with the road to self-improvement. Education doesn't stop. Education doesn't stop. That's the one thing my mom always taught me is you can make the choice every day to get better, but it is a choice. It's not an accident. It doesn't happen because you have all the intentions in the world. You have to make the effort, people. And she was the definition of a mentor. She taught me so much. I can't even possibly begin to list it. So I ask you, who in this world today can you help to make it a better world tomorrow? Is it a young one? Is it a loved one? Whoever. But ask yourself, who can you help to make the world a better place? Because that was her goal. Make the world a better place. Plain and simple. And last but not least, laugh more, guys. Life is serious. Life is tough. It's full of ups, it's downs, and geez, it can really make your head spin. And as my brother said, the one thing I'm going to miss is that laugh. It'd fill a room and it'd fill your heart. It was so unique. So laugh more. appreciate the experience called life. It's a hell of a lot shorter than we know. And for everyone here today, you have made this experience better, so thank you very much.
Okay, that was a lot to take in and a hard thing to follow. I'm going to try and keep mine a little bit lighter, hopefully find my bullet points. I just have a few things I want to say. I want to start off by just thanking her so much for accepting me into the family. As John mentioned, we were just kids when we got married. I was only 17 and he was 18. We've been married for almost 14 years and together for half of our life. And she truly was a second mother to me. And I just want to thank her so much for accepting me in the family and just making me always feel welcomed. As several people have talked about her wonderful, wonderful care packages we all so love to get. I was just thinking the other day, for the first time, am going to have to go buy dryer sheets. I used my last dryer sheet. And I thankfully found out from Richard that apparently they're not some magical dryer sheet. I can just go get them at Costco. So I'm luckily not, SOL on that. So that's good. She loved going shopping and taking you to go find stuff. And she would always call and ask you if you wanted to go shopping. But I think ultimately she didn't want to go get something for herself. She wanted to take you to find out what you needed and what you wanted and how she could help you. One of my favorite shopping experiences with her was when Kyle was just a little guy. He was still in a stroller. And we were shopping at Beeps, and she goes to hand the guy the credit card. Apparently she handed the guy the wrong credit card. And she did one of her little Linda spazzes and goes, oh, whoa, 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 and just did her little Linda spaz that she would do. And it was the cutest, funniest thing that I will remember of her. Like the time she ordered pecan pie. And goes, pecan pie, She just had all these little quirky little spazzes about her that I will truly miss. The last time that Linda truly, truly laughed and chuckled, me and Misty were lucky enough to get to share that experience. And you'll all get to see her in the hat that I'm talking about in the picture. You'll know exactly what hat I'm talking about. It's a gold hat that me and Misty were helping her go through her clothes, and I pulled the hat at. And I said, Linda, what is this? Is this your pimp hat from your pimpin' days? Because it's a bright gold flamboyant hat, and she just laughed so hard. She loved that. And, I will forever truly cherish that laugh. Linda was always about helping other people and uplifting you and just making you better, and I was really lucky to be able to go with her on one of the retreats, like John talked about, where we walked on the glass and we broke the arrow and everything. And I went to break the arrow the first time with my throw, and I actually fell, and it hurt really bad, and it was not fun, and it was really embarrassing. But Linda was right there by my side to pick me up and encourage me to do it again. I'm so happy she did, because I did it the second time and I broke that arrow. I still have that arrow, and I will forever cherish that. I just truly, really want to thank Linda so much for being a part of my life and enriching my life and teaching me so many things. I plan on going forward today and just carrying forward her laughter, her smile, and her warm care for everybody, for people, for animals, for everything. That's what I plan on remembering and carrying forward for her. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is Shayna. I had the joy of first meeting Linda a little over 6 years ago, shortly after I met her wonderful son, Dennis. I'm also Chloe's mom and little granddaughter. In the last 6 years, I've had the pleasure of getting to know Linda on many different levels. As a friend and a confidant, as a strong woman and role model, as a shrewd businesswoman, and finally as family over the years. The first thing that struck me about Linda, besides her effortless beauty, was how very close and loving her relationship was with her sons. It's refreshing to see such devotion and respect between a mother and sons. Now, you've heard about Linda's care packages over and over, but I was always so impressed with her ways of knowing what was needed. Sometimes there would be a card or a small gift with encouraging and uplifting words, something appropriate to what was going on in our lives at the time, little messages to laugh, to love, to enjoy life. It's always been comforting to look around the house at these little trinkets and reminders of Linda, and it's even more so now. Linda was diagnosed with cancer shortly after I had met her. In the time that I have known her in which she has fought this long battle, I have been honored to see the depth of courage and faith that she possessed while facing adversity. Linda has always had such a positive outlook on life, even when she was very ill, and the kind of grace in which she handled the tribulations of this ravishing disease is a testament to her strength and bravery. She also showed me the importance of self-care. Linda was constantly looking for ways to keep herself positive and strong, and things like healthy living, meditation, support groups, and counseling were part of her life. Linda had invited Donna and me to a women's circle at Chris's home here in the back, and that was a wonderful and nurturing experience that I was glad to share in, and I hope to carry on these kinds of practices in her honor with my own children and with the rest of the family. I also got to know Linda on a much deeper level when Richard was ill a couple years ago. I was in a position at that point to help them manage properties, so I was able to spend a lot of time with Linda while Richard recovered. And it wasn't all work. Linda and I would get to chat and putter around the garden, get to eat her wholesome and delicious lunches. Sometimes we would go shopping. But I also learned along the way how serious Linda was about the business. She was very smart, astute, fair, and exacting, and I'm grateful to have had her as a female role model for a successful businesswoman. She taught me a lot. I also got to see some of the inner workings of Linda and Richard's relationship and what an amazing partnership they had, not just in business, but in life. And truly blessed. All along the way, I've continually discovered the immense capacity that Linda had for love. She doted on her grandchildren, and Kyle and Chloe are very blessed to have gotten to know her. I got to see how much Linda loved her whole family and all her friends, and I know that I'm a better person for having known her love as well. I love you, Linda, and I'll miss you always. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. My name is Misty, and I'm Kyle's mom. Having Linda in my life has been one of the greatest gifts I've ever received. She was my children's grandma, a second mom to me, a friend and confidant, and the most amazing role model any woman could ask for. When Kyle was little, I would bring him by and drop him off with Grandma Linda. When I would come back to pick him up, she always had this long list of things he had eaten. And if you know Kyle at all, he doesn't always eat a lot. And I was always just amazed, because he would eat more for her in a couple of hours than he would for me over the course of the day, or sometimes days. I couldn't figure out how she did it. And then instead of just leaving Kyle, I would come and stay. And I finally figured out how it was done. She would make him all these healthy snacks and then take them out into the yard, this yard right here, where he would always be playing, and follow him around, giving him bites of all these different foods. He never had to stop playing, and he never argued. He just dutifully ate all the healthy things his grandma would feed him. If I didn't regularly call Linda, she would always call me to check in on Kyle, Addie, Mark, and I. She would always ask what the kids needed. I learned her to tell her what the kids needed, otherwise I might end up with hundreds of pairs of underclothing. And when I told her what we needed, it would always appear. Hoodies for Kyle, leggings for Addie, vitamins for me. She freely gave her support for baseball, summer camps, handwriting camps, and viola lessons. She showered all of those around her with love. She's truly the best grandma any child could ask for. She showered her grandchildren with love. Whenever I had questions, which was often, on what I should do as a mom, about her health, or anything else I was concerned about. I could always ask her for advice, and she would give it freely and then provide whatever we needed to accomplish that goal. I would also ask her advice about myself. She would tell me her truth and give me suggestions, but would never judge if I did something different. She was always patient and kind. She was always helping me to improve myself and was my biggest cheerleader. She supported me 100% on anything I was trying to do. Even when she was sick, she was always thinking and giving to others. We never left her house empty-handed. We've all heard about her amazing care packages. We always left with one of her famous care packages filled with food, household items, clothes, and toys for the kids. One of my last shopping trips with Linda was to Out of the Blue Toy Store back in January. She had told me she wanted to go somewhere, so I came to pick her up. She couldn't tell me where it was that she wanted to go. She was struggling to get the words out. So I said, "It's okay, we'll just get in the car. And you can just point, just tell me where to turn." And we laughed the whole way to the store with her pointing, telling me where to go. And then we pulled up in front of Out of the Blue Toy Store. She had the best time finding gifts for Kyle and Chloe and Addie, and she had them all wrapped up with bright paper and ribbons. Linda is truly an inspiration. She inspires me to be a better mom. Someday my children will be getting care packages left on their front porches, are sent with them when they come to visit me. She inspires me to be true to myself and to never stop finding ways to improve myself, but to also never get so caught up in myself that I don't remember to think of others and give freely. She showed me the woman I want to be, caring, vibrant, beautiful, giving, strong, and full of love. Most importantly, she taught me that your family is not just always your blood relatives, but the people in your life who love and support you no matter what. For that, I will always thank her from the depths of my soul and love her very, very much. But my heart aches with sadness and I miss her dearly. Her lessons will stay with me, and her love will always be in my heart and the hearts of my children, and so she will always be with us. And thank you all for being here. Thank you so much to Richard for being such an amazing, amazing man. And such a wonderful part of her life. And Tana, I'm so privileged to have had to be able to spend this time with you and watch her care for you. And truly know the depths and the strength of your soul. You are truly an amazing woman. And such a beautiful family, and thank you all for being here.
Would anyone like to add to all the beautiful stories we've heard? Thank you. Come forward.
Hello, my name is Sandy, and I'm Donna's mother, and I wrote a poem for Linda. Today I have a very special agenda, and that is to tell you about my dear friend Linda. When I first met Linda, so tiny and petite, you would think I'd be jealous, but she was too sweet. I liked Linda from the first day we met. From that day forward, our friendship was set. Richard, you may think that meeting Linda was fate, but she knew that you were her soulmate. Linda knew you would protect her from harm, and let's face it, she thought you had a certain charm. Dennis, you are her eldest son, and in her eyes, you were always number one. There were times, though, when you made her scared, but she knew you could accomplish whatever you dared. John, you were truly her baby boy, and one thing I know is that you brought her great joy. But don't get me wrong, you sometimes caused her some fear, but I know in her heart you were always near. Kyle, her little precious grandson, your grandma loved you and you made her life fun. Of Addie Ann, Linda would talk of how she would leave her messages in chalk. Sorry. Linda would, oh, sorry. Then there is Chloe, so cute and sweet. Being with you was always a treat. Now some of you may think I'm done, but Linda had love for everyone. Donna, you were more than a daughter-in-law. Linda could depend on you. She just had to call. Shayna, you thought I forgot about you maybe, but Linda loved you. You gave her another grandbaby. Misty, separation didn't keep you out. You had a special bond. You know what I'm talking about. Everyone here was more than a friend. To Linda, I'm sure we all were kin. And even though we are now apart, we all have a place for Linda in our heart.
Very nice, thank you. Anyone else have a story or a memory they'd like to share? Thank you all for your contributions. This was beautiful. Linda Lee Fox danced through this life with good energy. And as we know from physics, energy does not disappear, it merely changes form. And although Linda's physical presence is gone from our sight, her loving energy continues on in our hearts and our minds, and will continue on as long as we live and remember her. Let us resolve to go forward from today's service to live better lives thanks to Linda's example, to dance for the joy of movement and expression of energy, to care for all creatures, great and small, people, plants, and animals, to nurture growth and find the best in ourselves and in others. To help release Linda's spirit and to raise our own, we are now going to do a balloon release in her honor. Now, these are biodegradable balloons, so we will not be harming the environment by doing this salute in her honor. And we also have a video tribute that's over under the tent. So I think what we'll do is have the balloons brought over to the tent so you can watch the video tribute, and we will collect balloons. Please allow the family to get their balloons first. And then we'll go in the back and do a launch with a countdown to release those balloons and our wishes and our spirits in Linda's honor. And again, thank you for your presence here today. It means a lot to the family. And then we'll have a reception with food and drink and conversation and carrot cake, which was Linda's favorite. So thank you all for being here. Let's come over to the tent, enjoy the video, and get our balloons.
When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and the stars appear and there is no one there to dry your tears, I could hold you for a million years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I will never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met. No doubt in my mind where you belong. and blue. I go crawling down the avenue. No, there's nothing that I wouldn't do to make you feel my love. Storms are raging on the rolling sea and on the highway of regret. The winds of change are blowing wild and free. You ain't seen nothing like me yet. I could make you happy, make your dreams come true. Nothing that I wouldn't do. Go to the ends of the earth for you to make you feel my love, to make you feel my love.
She ran away in her sleep and dreamed of paradise, paradise. Every time she closed her eyes. Expected the world, but it flew away from her reach, and the bullets catching her teeth. Life goes on, it gets so heavy, the wheel breaks the butterfly. Every tear a waterfall. In the night, the stormy night, she closed her eyes. In the night, the stormy night, she flies and dream of paradise, paradise, paradise.
I see a tomato balloon. I just said tomato balloon. I see a tomato. Somebody go for me and talk. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there.
Look at them. Yellow balloons. There they go. There they go.
The neighbors are going to love them. That's great. They're smiling.
Go, Kelly.
That's cool.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's really cool. They look like Easter eggs.
Goodbye.